Here's the startup time for the HTC Touch Pro 2. The startup time is pretty slow from what you can see, but other than that, it gets going pretty fast whenever you're navigating through the interface. Alright, looks like we have an alert on my phone, and it appears to be a text message. Okay, first things first. The startup time for the Touch Pro 2 is a bit slow, but as I've said before, it makes up for that slow startup time in the quick speed of being able to navigate through all of the features on this device. You have a horizontal sliding menu of icons that takes you to the different areas of the interface for TouchFlow 3D. You can either use your finger or your stylus. And another convenient way to go back and forth between the sections is to also use a flick of the stylus or your finger. The first icon in the horizontal scrolling menu happens to be the home screen. This basically shows you the entire desktop of the phone and gives you a quick snapshot of what happens to be going on with the phone at any particular point in time. You've got your time, your date, your alarm setting, your call history, any pending calendar appointments. The upper taskbar of the home screen shows access to the start menu, the signal type, as well as the signal strength, the volume of the device, and the access to the task manager. As you can see from these icons in the upper taskbar, there is a lot going on. I'm connected to my own Wi-Fi network, and I also have new email. In order to get a quick report as to what's going on, I can tap on the upper taskbar and it'll give me a notifications window. It shows that I'm connected to my Wi-Fi and I have new email. And you can either dismiss everything or close out the window. The People section happens to be quick access to all of your contacts on your phone. The first thing that you are introduced to in this section is a Rolodex of different images that happen to belong to any sort of contacts that are on your phone. And this basically gives you quick access to each of them. Now, whenever you want to install a new favorite contact, you simply tap on the plus symbol at the top and it takes you to the entire listing of all of your contacts, and you choose the individual accordingly. Kinetic scrolling. As you can see, it works very well with each swipe of your finger. You also have quick access with the alphabetical characters on the side that takes you to a specific section depending on the letter you want to choose. To access your favorite contacts, you can also use this sidebar of all of the images of each of your favorites. Whenever you have an image of a favorite contact and you tap on it, it basically takes you into the contact file for that particular individual or company. Now, while you are in the listing for that particular contact, there is another horizontal menu of additional icons that are available. Messages, email, updates and events, and call history. This only shows the information that pertains to only that particular contact. The next section happens to be messages. Basically, all of your text messages come into this one section of the Touch Pro 2. A most convenient feature about the Messages application is that you can scroll through all of your recent text messages that were received from all of your contacts. Whenever you want to create a new text message, you simply tap on this icon in the upper right-hand corner. Whenever I want to reply to a text message that has been received from one of my contacts, I simply tap on the message itself, and it brings up the appropriate interface for me to be able to type in a new message, whether it be through the QWERTY keypad on the screen or through the QWERTY keypad slider. The next section that we're going to go to is the mail section. This gives you a preview of all of the incoming messages to your mailbox. Whenever you see a particular message that you want to take a look at, just tap on the message itself and it brings you into the original message through the Windows mobile interface. Kinetic scrolling through the email application is also as good as scrolling on the contact listing. And the great thing about the email application is that it uses the accelerometer to change the orientation of the screen for easier reading. Very impressive. Now, when you're in the mail application and want to create a new mail message to someone, it's the same way as creating a new SMS. You simply go to the upper right-hand corner of the screen and tap on the Compose Email icon, and it takes you into the Windows Mobile interface to create your new email. And you can either create your email in portrait mode with the virtual QWERTY, or do it in landscape mode with the virtual QWERTY as well. Or as always, use the slider. The next section that we have is the calendar application. The calendar application is not really much to write home about. It's basically the same as any other phone. It shows you the dates for each particular month, and whenever you want to select a certain date, just tap on it and it shows you all of your appointments for that day. However, what makes it so great on the Touch Pro 2 is the fact that the screen is so much bigger than your average phone, and it gives you a lot of real estate to be able to see all of your information very easily at one time. Whenever you want to create a new appointment, it's as simple as tapping on that date and tapping New Appointment, and it takes you into the typical Windows Mobile interface to create your new event. There are basically two ways to view it by default. There's the month view, and then there's the day view. You can use these little arrows on either side to scroll through each month or each day. Or you can simply use finger swipes, which I think is much easier. The next section that we have here is the internet, and the first thing that will come to your eye is this globe icon that basically launches Opera Mobile, which is a very good internet browser. Right above the launcher for the internet browser, you have an empty text field in which you can type anything that you would like to have searched over the internet. And just below the command to open up the browser, you have a link that opens up a mobile app for YouTube on the HTC. As far as using this HTC application is concerned, it is very intuitive and kinetic scrolling works very well. On the bottom you have four main icons. The first one for the program guide, the second one for bookmarks, the third one for the history of any viewed videos, and the fourth one for a searching field. As great as the interface looks on this particular YouTube application, I have not been able to get it to work for anything in regards to viewing videos. Whether I'm connected with the Edge network or whether I'm even connected through Wi-Fi, you will see here that nothing happens. There is no sign of any sort of video playback on this YouTube application for the Touch Pro 2. Now, the only thing that happens with this application is that it will continue to run for about 3 to 4 minutes, after which there will be an error message that pops up. I've tried to go online numerous times to find a solution to this problem, and I've been unsuccessful in doing so. For a good while, I figured that it was a problem with the application itself and not my particular phone, but I did come across a video review of this same phone on the Phone Dog YouTube channel, during which they did play a YouTube video successfully over Wi-Fi. So that let me know immediately that it was only my particular phone and not a problem with the application. And as you can see, the error message has come up, and this is the only result that I get every time I try to access a YouTube video on my phone. Below the YouTube application starter, you have 4 available spaces in which you can place website addresses according to your choice. These are basically push websites that are updated depending on the time interval you select and settings. I happen to have Boy Genius Report, Engadget Mobile, PocketNow.com, and Twitter set as my push websites. I can go into Menu, Schedule Settings, and it's in these settings where I can set the day, the start time, and the end time, as well as the frequency as to how often each website is refreshed. Alright, I've opened up the home page to my Opera Mobile browser, and I have it set to google.com. The great thing about Opera Mobile is that it is optimized to work with the accelerometer of the HTC Touch Pro 2. And zooming can be controlled by either a double tap or the zoom bar on the side of the screen. Let's do Engadget Mobile. Now, using this web browser throughout my day has been very reliable, just like the iPod Touch and the Nokia N97. Upon using this web browser on the Edge network outside of my own home, I did find it to be very reliable when it came to posting text. As far as images are concerned, that did take a little bit more time. One amazing feature on the Opera Mobile browser that I have gotten used to, just like on the iPod Touch, has been the ability for the text to be optimized according to how far you're zoomed in on the screen. It does not support Flash on a YouTube website, so you basically have to go into the HTC application to play any Flash content.